Take 283, ready, and go. You gonna learn today? Okay, so we're talking about postmodernism. Postmodernism was the period of time after the modernist period of literature. It started around 1950, or right after, or near after World War II. There are several parts of postmodernism, but the one that I'd like to focus on today, well, tonight, it's almost 10:50. The one I'd like to focus on tonight is that idea of happiness and just living life to the fullest. There are several key ingredients to postmodernistic writing, however. One of them is religion. Another is figurative language, which is just the writing style or the writing that is incorporated into the literature. How does this postmodernism affect or address nature? How is human nature and psychology related to postmodernism? What is the American dream of the postmodernistic literature age? What are characteristics of a postmodernistic hero or heroine? It sounds like heroine, but it's not. And what is a common theme between the two works that I chose, which one of them is called All Around the World by Mac Miller. It is a rap song. And the other is kind of a hip-hop / rap song called, wow, I forgot the name of the song. Just kidding. It's called Pursuit of Happiness by Kid Cudi. It's one of my favorite songs ever. And the last question that is addressed is, why did literature change throughout time? Well, in order to first understand postmodernism, I'm going to tell you what it is. Postmodernism, as I said a little while ago, was started around 1950 or right after the World War II, and it still continues today. Postmodernism is kind of, if you want to put it in terms of chemistry, you have solids, and you have liquids, and you have gases. Gases, all the particles are free-flowing, they're going everywhere and here and there. Liquids is a little more mellow, it's moving around. And then you have the solids, where it won't move at all. Solids are the modernistic period. The modernist period were before the postmodernistic period, obviously. And they kind of had, that literature period kind of conformed to some guidelines. The guidelines were like, this is an example of like society guidelines. Like people have to dress some certain way, or they have to wear these certain clothes, or stuff like that. But then you get to the postmodernistic period, and everything's a little bit more free. Everybody wants to be their own individual, their own unique self. And that's kind of what the postmodernistic period was all about. And it's still about, because it's still going on. Alright. The religion aspect of postmodernism isn't really incorporated into these two works that I've chosen, but I'm going to tell you about it anyways. Religion, obviously, well, at least in our country, there are no guidelines as to what religion can have in it. Religion can be about anything. Religion is unbounded and completely free-flowing. You know, you can believe, you can be Jew, you can only believe that in God and that Jesus wasn't actually the Messiah and the Messiah is still coming. Or you can be Christian and believe that Jesus was the Messiah, he came, rose from the dead and went to heaven, and that God is his Father in heaven. There are a bunch of different ways that, or the reason that religion coexists with the postmodernistic period and they so well, like, mesh together like my fingers are right now, like this, is because postmodernism was and still is that period that everything is unbounded and there's no real definition to it. As one person said, in fact, her name, Abby Warlock, she said it quite excellently. No general agreed on definition exists for the word postmodernism. One might begin to briefly look at the term postmodernism and believe that modernist is what it is, but it's actually not, because modernist is that, like what I said earlier, that solid where there's things they have to conform to. But postmodernism, that's free liquid. Anyhow, the two songs that I chose don't have that religion in them, but religion's an important part of postmodernism. The next thing about postmodernism is figurative language. Figurative language is the use of just different parts of language that kind of make the song free-flowing and kind of just interesting and kind of out there, obscure. That's a good way to say it, obscure. The song All Around the World by Mac Miller, it's a rap song. Rap songs typically, most people know them as rap songs. They don't necessarily make a lot of sense. They kind of just words slapped on a page. This case has a little bit of that, but at the same time, it's pretty well rounded and it makes sense. The Mac Miller song, let me read you a line out of it. Give me just a second. Give me just a second. Okay. I got my cup filled, there the B word, all around me on some bachelor S word. Eyes half closed, heavy like they was attached to bricks. Around the world I use my atlas, make a map of it. Globe trotter, ho hopper, that's not appropriate. Superstar, ask direct. End of that quote. Anyways, Mac Miller's saying, you know what? I'm going to go out. I'm going to have fun. Just going out, doing whatever. That figurative language, that obscureness of this is that there's no real trend that it follows. It just follows a beat and he's going. It's pretty much just, not role play, excuse me. It's kind of just making stuff up on the spot. And that's really what rap is, and that's why it's obscure and fits the postmodernistic trait of that figurative language, because it's just there and it's different. It's not in order. Kid Cudi's song, on the other hand, it has a little bit more structure to it. It has its stanzas are well oriented. They have the same number of lines in each one of them, and every time he sings the chorus, it is repeated 2 times. I'm on the pursuit of happiness, and I know everything that's shine ain't always gonna be gold. I'll be fine once I get it. Yeah, I'll be good. Says that 2 times, so it's more structured. But the other words that he uses in there, just that figurative language is used quite well. The third part about, or one of the other parts about postmodernism, is that of the use of nature in postmodernism and how it addresses nature. Neither of these 2 songs really address nature too well. Well, actually, not at all. There's nothing about nature in there. It's about going out and partying. Anyways, nature is a very important part, excuse me, I don't speak English, of postmodernism, because there's no, just like everything else, there's no definite shape to it. Nature, you can't put a seed in the ground and say you will grow now. No, a seed grows when it's time to. That just little bit of disorder, there's no shape to it. Like the liquid I spoke of earlier, that's what nature is, and that's why it fits postmodernism so well. The other part of another part of postmodernism is that of human nature and psychology. That is seen in both of these songs quite well. Okay. Tell me what you know about dreamin'. You don't really know about nothing. Tell me what you know about them night terrors every night. 5 a.m., cold sweats, waking up to the sky. Tell me what you know about dreams. Tell me what you know about nothing. About night terrors, nothing. You don't really care about the trials of tomorrow. Rather lay away in a bed full of sorrow. That is the second stanza of Kid Cudi's song, Pursuit of Happiness. This has figurative language in it as well as most of the rest of his story. But this kind of has that human nature aspect of it, as in, he does have a little bit of sense of caring about what's going to happen tomorrow. In one of his lines, as I just read, says,